Welcome back to CNN Newsroom. Great to have you along with us on this Sunday. I'm Pamela Brown. And today, the Hillary Clinton campaign is doubling down on a bombshell accusation she made at last night's Democratic presidential debate. Take a listen.
He is becoming ISIS's best recruiter. They are going to people showing videos of Donald Trump insulting Islam and Muslims in order to recruit more radical jihadists.
So experts say there's no evidence that those videos exist. And Donald Trump also weighed in, tweeting, Hillary Clinton lied when she said that ISIS is using video of him as a recruiting tool. Joining me now, CNN senior political analyst and former advisor to 4 presidents, David Gergen. David, great to have you on with us.
Thank you, Pamela. It's good to talk to you.
So, David, we hear Democrats accuse Republicans all the time, it seems, of playing the politics of fear. And when you hear Hillary Clinton make a claim like that when there's no evidence to support it, isn't that right out of the same playbook?
It is indeed. Let's start with the proposition that Hillary Clinton won that debate handily last night, and I think even after this flap goes past, she'll still be the very, very strong front runner. But what struck me, Pamela, was that the CNN's own reality check team did a thorough search of a lot of assertions made last night by all 3 candidates, and on this particular assertion, what they concluded was this: look, there is no question that Donald Trump's comments are probably helping ISIS, or and going to people and convincing them that America doesn't like Muslims. But when you come down to what she actually said, and that was that they're ISIS videos, CNN concluded there is no evidence of such videos being out there, and they concluded that the overall charge was false.
So let me ask you this then, because she said Donald Trump is ISIS's best recruiting tool, but then why did she take it a step further, do you think, to make this assertion that clearly doesn't have any evidence to support it?
That's a really good question. That's exactly what I wondered about, and because it seems to me that first notion, these best recruiting tool, she could just let that lay out there, and people could make up their own minds. That's what Trump does all the time. But to go with the next step and to make it more concrete, she left herself open to, wait a minute, you went and stretched the truth, and it gave Trump his opening to come back and say, I told you, she tells lies all the time. I thought last night, frankly, he also said something that was irresponsible, and he called her a snake. I just thought that it was such a repulsive analogy that I don't know. I don't know where. Those are the kind of things that get him in trouble. But last night, she as well as she did, and she was an excellent debater last night. And you couldn't help but think, what's it going to be like with Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump? If that's where we are, what's it going to be like with the debates in the fall? They're going to be fascinating, because 2 completely different kind of personalities. But he's going to call her on her stuff just as she calls him.
Absolutely. And let's look at the CNN ORC poll, David. It was released earlier this month, and it shows a majority of Americans, 60%, disapprove of how President Obama is handling terrorism. And that was before the shootings in San Bernardino. So when you look at that, how can Hillary Clinton avoid being weighed down by the way Americans view President Obama when it comes to terrorism?
Well, I do think she's beginning to separate herself out and arguing that basically she's tougher than he is, and she would have done things like arming the rebels in Syria a long time ago, and that she would engage in, she's more open to some sort of larger special forces footprint on the ground in Iraq and Syria. So she's trying to do that. But I think what her problem with this ISIS claim that she made about how they're making videos about Trump is it feeds the narrative that she's not quite trustworthy. That you can't be sure of what she's saying. And that is not where she wants to be. To lead and lead effectively, as she knows better than anybody else, trust is really, really important.
And let's talk about this interesting moment when Clinton was asked about the role of president's spouses. Take a listen.
With respect to my own husband, I am probably still going to pick the flowers and the china for state dinners and stuff like that. But I will certainly turn to him, as prior presidents have, for special missions, for advice, and in particular, how we're going to get the economy working again for everybody, which he knows a little bit about.
So, David, what do you make of her response?
I thought she did it with a certain warmth and charm in the beginning part of that answer, and then she turned to the politics of her answer, which was, I'll send him on these missions. But most importantly, she reminded us right at the tail end of that answer those were economic good times. The Clinton decade, 1992 to 2000, the bottom quartile, the bottom quintile actually moved up faster than people above them did. And so there was a lot, as people look back at the number of jobs created, the Clinton economy was a strong economy. So she's going to use that. I think she gave us a taste of what's coming in this campaign, how she's going to draw upon the strengths of the Clinton years to sell herself.
All right, David Gergen, great conversation with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pamela.